What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. We're going to be talking about Silver Samurai. He is coming out tonight in offers at least, and I thought we'd do a preview talking about his stats, what T4s you may want to be focusing on. He will be a campaign event character. We don't know exactly when it is coming just yet. We don't have an exact date for that. Hopefully we get in the blog post update tonight. But we're going to talk about this character because I think he's got some very interesting stats on him that you guys may enjoy. He is a protector, and he's got stats that make him a very strong protector in that regards. But I think also that even if you're not going to be getting Omega Red, he's still going to have some solid potential, especially on ward defense. And we're going to talk about that with his kit and give you some ideas of what to expect with him overall, talk about some ISOs. We're gonna break down Silver Samurai in total. And beforehand, if I say Silver Surfer instead of Samurai, I apologize ahead of time. I've been saying it several times, or I've been saying Surfer instead of Samurai. It's just habit. We've had Surfer for a while, so I catch myself from time to time saying it. Apologies ahead of time if I do that again in this video. But if you guys do enjoy this video and find it helpful, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. And let's dive right into it with Silver Surfer. So Surfer is a villain global mutant protector, Weapon X, and he's got the honorable tag. That honorable tag will be for the campaign event that we will see eventually what exactly we'll be using with the honorable trait. Now his kit, it's got some interesting stuff here, and it's starting off with his basic Tachyon Slash. Transfer one counter from the primary target to himself, attack the primary target for 250% piercing, gain +1 counter up to a maximum of 5. His attack gains 300% bonus focus, and when this character performs a counter or assist, they apply 2 bleed to the target. If you look up here at assist and counter information, attacks the primary target for 241% damage plus 17% piercing, and applies 2 bleeds and 2 heal block. This attack gains 500% bonus focus. Now, one question I do have is that will this apply 2 bleed here also stack with the 2 bleed here on the basic? We'll figure that out once we try him out. I don't think they're gonna stack. I mean, 4 bleed would seem a little excessive, especially for assist or counter. He's got some strong assist and counter stuff in his kit anyways, so I can't imagine it's going to be 4 bleed in total. We'll find that out as when we get him in game and we test him out. His special is called Executioner Slice. Gains taunt for 2 turns, +3 counter and +3 deflect up to a maximum of 5. Applies defense up for 2 turns to self and all Weapon X allies. Bury yourself and all Weapon X allies for 20% of this character's max health. Flip counter on the primary and adjacent targets. Attack the primary and adjacent targets for 250% piercing and apply offense down. Pretty good stuff here. You're starting to notice there's a common theme here where everything in his damage kit is going to be piercing. And we're going to talk about that when we talk about his stats as well, with his attack stat and how that stacks up and whether it means this piercing is going to be doing a lot of damage or not. We'll talk about that in his stat breakdown. Also, one other thing I do want to quick mention, you guys may notice here on MSF.gg, the icons for his abilities still have the Rising Sun. They have not updated it. I've looked in-game. He does not have the Rising Sun in his icon or his character models. MSF.gg just hasn't updated. So you see here on the passive, the Rising Sun, do not worry. That has already been taken care of. I've confirmed that in-game. It's not there. It's just the website has not updated to the proper art just yet. Also, then his ultimate, Bushido Barrage. I should also know his special and his ultimate both start full energy. He'll be using the ultimate first. Attack the primary target for 200% piercing. Apply stun. If charged, bonus attack the target for 200% piercing. 1 bonus attack for each charge, up to a maximum of 5 bonus attacks. Then remove charge. 1000 bonus focus for this attack. Characters killed by this can't be revived, and this attack is unavoidable and cannot be blocked. So this is kind of crazy. This is something akin to what we saw with Deathpool in a way. Deathpool does a lot more damage with her ultimate, but it's another thing where he does 200% piercing damage base. Then you add in the charge. Ideally, he can stack up to 5 charge, which means 1000% bonus damage with this. Which means ideally this ultimate, if he's at 5 stacks of charge, is 1200% piercing. It's a lot of damage. So this also, character cannot be revived, unavoidable, and can't be blocked. If he kills someone with this, and the chances are pretty good that he's going to kill someone with this, this could be a very strong counter to something like Heroes for Hire or characters that constantly revive and come back. That could make things very interesting for if he does this on someone like Adam Warlock or Gamora as well, or Shang-Chi or Colleen on offense. This ultimate has a lot of damage potential. Then we go to his passive, Way of the Blade. On turn, gain +1 charge up to a maximum of 5. On turn, this character has charge, is not stunned, and has any negative effects. Remove 1 negative effect on this character for each charge, and 1 charge for each negative effect cleared. Meaning, if he has 3 debuffs and he has 3 stacks of charge, he will remove all those debuffs, lose those 3 stacks of charge. If he has more stacks of charge, he'll have whatever's left over. And he doesn't have 3 stacks of charge, that means he'll only partially clear or not clear any at all. We don't know if there's any priority for what debuffs get cleared. I don't know if there is. I'll have to ask the developers about that. And then on this character, any Weapon X's ally turn, bury yourself for 10% of this character's max health. On attack, gain 1 charge up to a maximum of 5. This character applies heal block for 2 turns with 500% bonus focus on all attacks, 40% armor for himself and all Weapon X allies, plus 40% resistance for himself and Weapon X allies, 10% assist chance, plus 10 assist chance per Weapon X ally. If this character has 4 or more Weapon X allies, reduce the assist chance of all enemies by 25%. In war, on spawn, gain +5 charge, 40% piercing per charge, and reduce the assist chance of all enemies by 100% instead of 25%. So let's start off with, I don't know where to start with this passive. This passive is pretty nuts. That 40 armor and resistance each is going to be very, very good. That assist chance, it gives him a 50% assist chance in a full Weapon X ally or full Weapon X team. And then 40% piercing per charge. So that means ideally he gets another 200% piercing on top of that. You go back to his ultimate, it now goes from 1200 to 1400% piercing, even more damage. And yeah, I mean, this one's kind of crazy. If he doesn't have any, if no one's applying debuffs to him and he's just stacking up charge, he's going to do a ton of damage. And we've already seen he gets counter, so every time you attack him, he gets charged, which means he's going to counter, deal more damage with that. And there should be this is war, not war offense or defense, just war. So you can put him on defense or offense, and he's going to get that bonus piercing per charge. That's nuts. And he starts off with 5 charge at the start of the fight. This is crazy. So there's a lot of stuff here. Very tanky with that bonus armor and resistance to himself, and the assist chance is nice as well. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say. The heal block for 2 turns, 5% focus on all attacks. That, again, I assume does not stack with the assist thing here, but we'll find out in the future. Now, in terms of T4s, let's start with the passive. The T4 passive is trash if you are not getting an Omega Weapon. If you're not getting a Mega Weapon and the full Weapon X team with him, you can skip this T4. This T4 is only for reducing the assist chance on enemies by 25% if he has 4 or more Weapon X allies. If you don't have Weapon X, or if you don't have Omega Red, this T4 does absolutely nothing for you. You can totally skip it, but if you are using the full Weapon X team, this is one of the top priority passives in my opinion, because you're using this team to counter both Infinity Watch and Heroes for Hire, and this passive shuts down the assists from those teams. It's a huge T4 for those. Very important to have this T4 if you are going for a full team. So do keep that in mind. His ultimate, the T4 here, all it does is increase the damage by 40% piercing. So this one I think you can get away with. It's gonna be in the long run, you're talking like 200% damage less without the 5 stacks of charge. So it's not a big deal. It's one that's definitely window dressing. I think this is one that could help jack up his damage potential, but not one you really need to worry about. Executioner Slice, this one is definitely a recommended T4. With this, he goes from 1 counter and 1 deflect to 3 counters and 3 deflects on the taunt. Applies defense up for 2 turns instead of 1 turn to himself and all Weapon X allies. Very, very important to have those. And then the basic T4, this one you can really skip. It's just another 40% piercing on his attack. Nothing else. I think this is another one you can definitely skip on. This is probably one of the last T4s you're probably going to focus on for this team. So let's talk character stats, and buckle yourselves up because Silver Samurai is going to be at the top for some stats here. Number 1, health. If you look down here, Silver Samurai is number 15, tied with characters like Kingpin, Gamora, Moondragon, and Sabretooth, and Thanos for health. So just inside the top 10 in health, not bad. Armor, he is number 1 in terms of armor. That's because of his passive, where he gets that 40% boost in armor. So keep that in mind. Some of these other characters are probably going to have more armor than him. Depending on them, I can't remember if any of these, off the top of my head, I don't think any of these do give bonus armor, but 40,000, almost 41,000 armor maxed out on Silver Samurai. That's very impressive. And then resistance as well. He is sitting right here at number 7. Again, his resistance is boosted by 40% because of his passive that's calculated into your stats. But still, that's pretty good, especially you're going to be in the realm of characters like Black Bolt, Juggernaut, Maria Hill. Those are all characters that have some very high resistance. Blob up here, I didn't realize Blob had such high resistance. That's just got to be in his kit. But yeah, characters like Blob, Juggernaut, and Silver Samurai, all villain mutant protectors, all very high resistance stats. Now, for the bad parts, let's talk about his damage. Samurai is very much middle of the road in terms of damage, sitting at 31,480. He's similar to characters like Cloak, Colossus, Ronin, Hydra Scientist, Shocker, Maria Hill. His damage, honestly, is nothing. His damage stat on its own, not much to write about, but you have to remember all his damage is piercing. So most of these other characters, they're just flat damage. His is piercing damage, which means it ignores armor. So this damage is a little tricky. You think it's mediocre. It's very much middle of the road average damage, but all his damage is piercing. So you do have to keep that in mind. I think he's gonna still do some solid damage with this, even because of all that piercing damage. And then if you want to go for focus, well, you're gonna be finding here in the 40s in terms of focus, similar to Nebula, Deathpool in terms of focus. Nothing crazy. It's good. It's not great. It's not bad. It's good focus. There's nothing else to say there. But the real big highlights of him are his health, his armor, and his resistance. Very much top of the line in all those stats. Best armor in the game. Top 10 in resistance. Top 15 in health. Maybe even top 10, depending on how you do that tiebreaker. So he's got the stats that you need for a protector. You want high health, high armor, high resistance for a protector. So you're getting that with him. So that's all very important. It's good to see a protector with high stats like that. So moving on from that, let's talk about what you can be doing with Silver Samurai in the game. And I mentioned earlier, we want to talk about what to do if you don't have him. If you don't have the full Weapon X team, what can you be doing with this guy? And I gotta find the tag here. I'm blanking out. Can't remember my alphabet. Mutants. I think Silver Samurai will find a home in either a Brotherhood or a Marauders team. And here's my theory for this. And give me a second here to just give me a second for this theory. So Doom is almost always on one of two teams in Alliance War. Your Marauders or your Brotherhood. Now, if you try to fit Samurai in with those teams, it doesn't work as well. You're losing vital characters at that point. I was thinking about this earlier today. Like Brotherhood Doom, you've got Magneto, Toad, Blob, Juggernaut, and Doom. You can't take out any of those characters for Samurai. You gotta have them. You have to have Toad for the speed bar and the taunt on Blob. You have to have Magneto, obviously. You gotta have Blob, and you gotta have Juggernaut. So it's one of those where you can't really sacrifice anyway on that team and throw in Samurai with Doom. For Marauders, you have Emma Frost, Sinister, Strife. You got Doom. And with that buff to Sabretooth, you're going to want Sabretooth on that team. That's 5 characters. Now, you could take Sabretooth off and put Samurai in. It works. But then Sabretooth's kind of off on his own. And I'm not a fan of that. So here's my theory with this team and Villain Protectors. Whatever team you put Doom on, put Samurai on the other. And let's talk about this. So let's start with Brotherhood. Now, most people do Brotherhood with their Doom. And right now, your Brotherhood, we've already mentioned the characters here. Now, imagine something else. I forgot that that Juggernaut is not a mutant. So let's look at the big picture here. Magneto, Juggernaut, Toad, Blob. Throw in Samurai as well. And here's my deal. So with that, you'd have three Brotherhood tanks, 2 of which would counter with Samurai and Blob. And then you have Juggernaut, which gives himself like death proof, defense up, immunity. And while he has immunity, he has 1000% bonus resistance. So you're having 3 very meaty tanks. But also think about it this way. Put Juggernaut on the end, put Blob right next to him, and then put Samurai on the other end. At that point, every time an enemy takes a turn, Blob is putting deflect on both Samurai and on Juggernaut. At which point, you now have 3 tanks that you are having to chew through. And you have a very interesting defense team at that point. They're not going to do a lot of damage, maybe. I think that's where Silver Samurai is going to come into play with his attacks and that charge. You're going to be attacking him. He has that deflect, so it means he has a very strong chance of resisting because of that deflect, and the blocking is a 25% chance to basically just make him resist the negative effects overall. He's going to be getting up charge. He's going to be countering, going to be assisting sometimes, only 10% assist chance. But you have this chance where he's just going to roll out his ultimate and just delete someone on the enemy team for like 1400% piercing damage. That's pretty impressive. So I think there's potential with him there on the Brotherhood team. What I really like him though is on the Marauders team. So let's talk about this. This one I think is going to be a better fit for him overall. I think the Brotherhood one's like a kind of a backup thing. But this Brotherhood team, Sinister, Emma, Strife, Sabretooth, and then Silver Surfer. Or, nah, see, there it is, Silver Surfer. Silver Samurai. At that point, you have synergy between Samurai and Sabretooth, where now Sabretooth gets the bonus armor and resistance from Samurai. Samurai now has another 10% chance to assist with Sabretooth on the team. You have Sinister and Emma, who are constantly healing the team up, cleansing. And also remember, Emma Frost's special puts immunity on all mutant villain allies. Meaning, you can't put debuffs on Samurai. You try to attack him, he's not going to be able to, he don't have to worry about cleansing negative effects because he's immune. So at that point, he's just building up charge, and between Sabretooth and Samurai, you have a lot of damage potential on that team. Mr. Sinister's going ham, he's just constantly healing. Strife is doing his thing where he's constantly taunting. I think this one, and also, if Samurai drops low on health, Strife's just going to automatically taunt. So this is one I think I like this. Also, look at this. Another 40% bonus resistance for mutants and 40% focus for villains. So now you're getting another 40% resistance for Silver Samurai with this team. And I have to look it up. I believe... yeah, defense up for 2 turns, all mutant villain allies with Emma. And then... let me see if I can find it. I don't know. It glitched out. Kept the Emma art. No, he doesn't. It's just for Marauders. But yeah, I mean, think about that. Defense up on Samurai at the start. Emma's going to put immunity on him pretty quickly. Sabretooth's going to be doing a bunch of stuff. You get, I mean, yeah, this is one I really, really like. I think this one is going to be pretty good. So, let me know what you guys think down below. Do you like the idea of Samurai on either one of those teams? Do you guys like anything about that? Also, I did forget to mention, in terms of ISO, I think Skirmisher or Striker's going to be your best bet. Skirmisher because of the assist chance. Striker because he's going to have a lot of piercing damage. So that Striker's going to drastically boost his damage. But yeah, I think either Skirmisher or Striker is going to be your best bet for Samurai overall. But let me know down below, what do you guys think about those team ideas? Do you have any other ideas? If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button, share, and subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys next time.